Hi everyone, Coach Mikey here, taking you through one of my, or an example of one of my leg days in the gym. So right now I'm running a hypertrophy focused cycle, meaning I'm training legs twice a week with a hypertrophic focus. So I'm trying to build muscle, put on as much tissue as possible. And you can see here I'm starting with squats. So I'll usually warm up with the bar before moving to one plate, which you can see here. So I'll do this for a few reps, not too many. I don't want to cause any fatigue. All I'm trying to do is really warm up my muscles, warm up my joints, and kind of get my body used to the motion. This is a great opportunity for me to test and really find out how heavy I'm going to go today. So today wasn't a super heavy day. I worked up to about 275 pounds in total. You can see here I'm at 225, just again, really trying to move the weight and see how it's feeling. So right now I moved to 275 for just 5 reps. Call this a potentiation phase. So I'm really trying to feel, okay, what does this weight feel like on my shoulders today? Am I going to go any heavier than this? And I didn't. So I did another set of 275 for 12 reps. And again, these reps I tried to keep super clean, just real quality all the way through, trying to work through a full range of motion. And again, just trying to get my butt down as low as I can without losing my lower back or without causing any butt wink, keeping my chest super tall, keeping my lats super engaged and tight so the bar doesn't move around on my shoulders, and really trying to keep the path of the bar as well in a nice neutral position. So I'm not moving too far forwards, not leaning too far back. Now a few of these were real grinder reps, especially the last two. I have to take a breath here in a minute and just gather myself, just really try and brace my core again. When I'm bracing, I'm thinking about pushing my belly button out against an external force so I can really feel my lower abdomen is kind of expanded in a way. So I'm not sucking in, rather I'm pushing out. So when I got done with that, I moved on to a one final set of 275. So obviously less reps than 12. I went for 8 reps this time. My focus here again is just pure quality. I'm not going to try and do anything extravagant here. I'm going to work into about a 1 or 2 rep in reserve, or a 2 RIR, as you might have seen it written elsewhere before. What I'm looking for here again is just quality. I'm looking for a nice neutral bar path again. I'm not leaning too far forward, too far back. I'm feeling a little bit of local fatigue now in my quads, not too much joint kind of discomfort or anything, so the weight is feeling good. But again, my focus here is to really keep my feet grounded, drive my feet into the ground, keep my chest tall, and just move powerfully. So my first back off set here is at 225. I just took the 25-pound plates off each side. And you can see here I'm really focused and I'm moving a little bit slower through the eccentric phase. And again, I'm trying to get super, super deep here, trying to exaggerate the range of motion to get as much out of the quads as possible. Now, I'll always tell myself here is keep it in the quads. When I start to feel fatigue, sometimes I'll slip into a bit of forward lean. So I'm really trying to keep my chest tall, really drive my butt down towards the ground, again keeping my feet grounded and spreading the earth underneath my feet. It gives me a really good stimulus of sort of external rotation in my femurs, and I can feel my glutes and my quads engage really well. From there I'll move on to the leg press. Now I am not a heavy leg presser by any means. I like to work with 3.5 plates, maybe even 4 plates from time to time. But again, my focus on leg press, more than anything, is range of motion. I like to get my feet as low as I can on the pad, which is why I keep my weightlifting shoes on. And now from here, what I'm focused on doing is moving again through a full range of motion. And the cue I'll often give myself here is to squash my hamstrings with my calves. So that's usually a good indicator of the range of motion that I'm getting here. If I don't do that, I know I haven't gone deep enough on the rep. 3 plates is usually, from experience, has been a perfect weight for me to work with here. Everyone's different. Sometimes I'll work heavier, sometimes I'll work lighter. But again, today, the weight was feeling kind of heavy. I was feeling some fatigue. So I focused in purely on just trying to create, again, perfect reps, keeping the stimulus in my quads. And again, going to about a 1 or a 2 rep in reserve kind of level here. So I'm not trying to overexert myself. I'm not trying to cause systemic fatigue. What I'm trying to do is create local fatigue in the quads for as much stimulus of growth. Again, that hypertrophy focus. So you can see here I'm slowly lowering the weight down, and hopefully you can see that my calves are pretty close to squashing my hamstrings there. That set wasn't too bad, but I did feel a jolly good bit of fatigue. Now this set is probably my main working set or the the one that hurt the most. I'm making sure I'm putting my feet in the same position, and all I'm thinking about really here is just creating the exact same stimulus, keeping it in the quads, really trying to create as full of a range of motion as possible. And again, that cue I keep giving myself is squash the hamstrings with my calves. So from here again, I'm focusing on a nice controlled, not super slow eccentric phase. And the concentric is nice and explosive. I don't spend too much time at the top, just straight back in for another rep. I like to count to about 1 or 2 for the eccentric on these on the leg press. I don't like to move too slow, especially on my working sets. I find if I move too slow, then the fatigue just sets in way too quickly. So from here, I'm going for a max set or a max rep set, leaving myself again about 1 or 2 reps in the tank. That being said, everyone's sort of 2 RIR or 2 reps in reserve, or rep in reserve kind of in general is very, very individual. My 2 rep in reserve here was something like 12 to 15, and they really started to hurt after about 10. So, I did 1 or 2 more just to really feel it out, and my quads got a jolly good bit of stimulus from that. So I had to take a minute here, as you can see, to just gather myself before I moved on. Now, the final portion of my workout here, this is really just about finishing the quads off. I still had some more in the tank, so I came over to the leg extensions here. I don't work into too much weight here either. I don't think it's worthwhile. I'd rather work through, again, a full range of motion with a really, really, really clean kind of rep. So I'm trying to create as much of an extension in the legs as possible, or in the knees as possible, while keeping all the stimulus in the quads. So nothing's on my knee joint at all. You can see my quads are working here as I extend the leg. I almost think about, when I do these, I almost think about kicking my heels away in order to create that stimulus in the quads. And I like to keep a nice upright chest, and I really pull myself down into the machine. I did something here called a MYO rep kind of set. So MYO reps, meaning I take almost like a rest pause. I take a minute to just gather myself, about 5 breaths or so, and then I go straight back in for about another 3 to 4 reps. And I'll do that 3 or 4 times over. In this case, I did it 4 times. I think 3 or 4 times here. But I just keep going until I really feel like I've reached that point of fatigue where I just can't take any more. This is a great way to get some extra work out of your quads. I don't like to do it on many exercises. I'll do it on leg press, leg extensions, and laying leg curls. Anything sort of in a fixed machine. If I'm thinking about doing it in a squat pattern, I'll do it on a hack squat machine, or maybe even on a Smith machine. But yeah, so from there, I did my last set of MYO reps straight into walking lunges, just at body weight to failure. And you can see I kept my weightlifting shoes on again here. I like to keep them on for these because I really like to exaggerate the range of motion and get as much out of the quad as possible and go as deep as I can. Again, I give myself that same cue of squashing the hamstring with my calf, except kind of the opposite way around here. I'm trying to get my hamstring to squash my calf instead of vice versa, like I was thinking on the leg press. So you can see here, I just take it 1 rep at a time, really stepping into that lead leg. And again, really trying to pull myself down in towards the ground, keeping my chest nice and upright, so I don't, create too much forward lean or too much backwards lean. I'm trying to keep, again, all that stimulus in the quadricep. So I'll work all the way until failure here. I think I ended up getting about 20 or so reps. But yeah, just keep going. So this set, I'll do this once a week on my second leg day. I don't do it every leg day. I'll kind of float between a quadricep and a hamstring focused leg day during the week. Today was obviously a quads focused leg day, so I leave all my hamstring work to the end when I don't get as much of a stimulus, but I still get some. Obviously with these walking lunges, because you go so deep and the range of motion is kind of set up this way, you do get a little bit of stimulus in the glute, especially if you can kind of really thrust yourself onto that lead leg and stand up kind of through the heel or through the center of your foot. But again, because of the nature of the movement and because of the weightlifting shoes that I do have on, the elevated heel allows me to keep a lot of the stimulus in the quad and keeps it away from the glute and the hamstring. So I get a lot of adductor stimulus from these too. And if you guys don't train your adductors, you should be. That's what gives you that nice thick look in the leg. So then I just finish off here with some laying hamstring curls. I keep it really simple with these. Honestly, I just grind out some reps and keep a nice full range of motion again. I set the machine up in a way that does allow me to extend my leg fully and get a nice long hamstring at the bottom of the movement. And then my goal here is to really touch at the bottom. So I want the stack, or the weight stack, to touch all the way down at the bottom, and I'm trying to get the wheels of the machine, so you can see just above my heels, I'm trying to get the machine to touch my glutes every single rep. So I'm fully shortening and fully lengthening the hamstring with every single rep I do here. So that's kind of the mission. I'm trying to get as much out of the legs as possible. And that's really it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Any questions, leave them in the comment section below, and I'll get back to you guys soon.